Hi everyone, and welcome to Action for the Patient. I'm Christian Zohar, an A7R Sony camera shooter with the A7R2 and the A58 that is now recording this video. And I'm here tonight to talk to you about the E-mount system, because I've seen many reviews lastly about the revision, the Mark III of the A7R or the A7. And I'm very interested to know if, as an E-mount shooter, I have to do the switch, I have to dive in the ecosystem of the E-mount system. So, to answer this question, I have decided to rent this big guy here. As you may know, is the A7R2. And I will try to use it with my lenses. So, they are E-mount lenses, of course. We have for full frame Sony 28-75 2.8 constant aperture. That is a nice focal length for full frame camera. I would say that is a classic, like could be a 24-70 2.8. And I have added also a Tamron, that is the, which one is it? The 70-300 USD. I don't know where it's written. Yeah. 70-300 USD. So these two lenses are got a motor inside. So normally no problem with my adapter, that is the LAEA-3 of Sony. But just to be sure how it would work, I have added also my wider lens, that is the Minolta 17-35 2.8 to f4. This guy is my wide angle lens, and I have treated also on the E-mount with the LAEA-3. I already know that there is no AF system for this one with this adapter, but I wanted to know what would be the ergonomics, how it would behave, and what would be on a full frame body, the 17 also, because it's pretty wide. So finally, what are the results? First thing first, the form factor of the E-mount body. The E-mount body, as you can see, my hands are pretty tall because I am almost 2 meters. Okay, so for me, the form factor is very awkward. I mean, when I have to unhead this, my thumb is not where I expect it to be in the first place, and my index is not the button, the shutter button. I don't find it to be well placed. But it's the A7R2. Probably on the A7R3 they have answered this issue, but I don't know. So what I can tell about the form factor is that, you see, the grip is not so deep. So for a hand like myself, if you compare with the A7Rm2 that is just here, as you can see, my A7Rm2 is a big guy, no problem. My thumb is everywhere on all the buttons. By the way, there is a lot more of buttons in the back than for an E-mount. And I have to say that for ergonomics, when you are shooting, it's very handy. So that is something that I find a bit, yeah, that's a pity, I have to say, on the E-mount, but no big deal. What is a big deal, on the other hand, and that is a grip here, the first grip. When I use a lens that got a motor inside, I would have expected the body to be, especially on a Sony lens, the body to be totally, with all the options and the functionalities. Fact is, in reality, for example, if I can show you, I'm not sure. To start with, the focus area, I don't see any explanation why the zone is not usable. That is super weird. And zone is something I like to use more than center for sure, and more than flexible spot. But we are in the drive mode. Okay, so I wanted to say, yeah, more than the flexible spot. So that is the first grip here. That is a real grip. Another grip that I have for these bodies, and that is super rare, super weird here. is the batteries. They are depleting very, very super fast. I mean, I'm very impressed by the weak longevity of them. That is a major problem, I have to say. And I know that this issue is totally taken into account for the Mark III because they have changed the batteries. Now they are not as much as the A-mount bodies, but they are very, very good. Yeah, so that is for this type of A-mount lens. Now, if I use my Konica Minolta 17-35, what I have noticed is, first of all, so I don't have the AF system. Okay, let's say that. Okay, I can live with that. But fact is that in a manual focus system, manual focus mode, it's really, really to use. I have to say it's a pain to use. That is weird because normally the E-mount system, there is a lot of Canon shooter, Nikon shooter that are coming into the E-mount game because of people that have legacy lenses that they want to use in MF mode. And I have to say that in MF, I don't find it to be so useful. I don't know. I mean, the problem is, I think comes from the fact that there is not much of buttons here, so you cannot access easily the menus. You have to go in the menus, or you have to go in the function and try to find if your option is in the list, or you have to change the list, or it's a bit weird. Now, the plus side, or the things that I would love to see in the A-mount. The wheel here is very handy to zoom in and zoom out on the picture. I have to say that this feature, I would have loved it on the A-mount system, for sure. What else? Certainly something that is with the E-mount lenses and that is not available with the A-mount lenses is the fact that with the E-mount lens, when you are in manual focus, the zoom is working instantly. As soon as you are turning your focus ring, the zoom is going and you are able to make the real proper focus. With A-mount, it is not possible. We suppose that is because the ring is not sending any message to the body, so the body is not able to analyze and to say, okay, now I have to launch this feature, this option, or whatever. So that is a problem. So I think I have talked about everything I wanted to talk to you about the E-mount for the moment. Stay tuned because I will do more tests on more lenses because I have a very lot of lenses on the A-mount body, on the A-mount for A-mount body, because I'm an A-mount shooter mainly. And I have to say that, yeah, the E-mount is interesting, but the question is, if Sony is not unlocking all the options for Sony users on Sony bodies, for example, it's not possible neither, something that is super useful is the IAF. IAF is not working on this lens, for example, it's not working on my Tamron lens. I have tested it. It's not working at all. It says the lens doesn't allow this feature. Sorry, but it's working. IAF is working in AFS mode on my A7Rm2. So there is no reason. Now, I would say that Sony has, yeah, they have made they have limited the body depending on the lenses. Why not? But in the same time, it's a bit awkward when you see some other brand like Canon or Nikon that are using metabones or other adapter and they are able to have IAF. I'm sorry, but if I'm coming from the Sony, I expect and I hope that Sony is allowing me to use the IAF system because it makes sense. I'm a consumer of Sony products, so I'm sorry. Okay, so what else I have found that I find weird is this. I don't know for the A7R3, but A7R2 we got this, and I was searching for the port for the sync of the flash. There is none. Okay, don't know why. So, as you can see on 772, you got here your ports for the flash. You got obviously the same for the microphone. You got your HDMI, obviously, and you got your port 2 here. So that's a bit weird, but I think that is because of the form factor, you know, it's as it is more compact. They wanted to be sure that, yeah, everything would fit. So now, I have shot a lot of things in the city of Prague with this system, and I will make the development of my pictures. I am mainly using HDR or blending for the landscapes and cityscapes. Why I've decided to try that also is to know if I go A992 or if I wait a little for the Mark IV, because I'm sure in the Mark IV it will be better for the E-mount system to make the switch than the Mark III. Now, the A992 is exactly the same sensor as the A7R2, A7R3, the 42 megapixel. I need to know if my rigs, my computers, my hard drive are able to cope with the raw files of that are massively huge, and my Lightroom and so on. And because I know that the quality, and I have shot a wedding with this thing on Saturday, last Saturday, and the results with the flash, instant flash, working well. And I have to say that the result, the image quality is tremendous, is huge. I mean, the quality of the picture from the sensor is huge. I love it. Fact is now, will I go E-mount or will I stay E-mount with A992? That is a question. That is a question that a lot of E-mounters got, and I intend to answer this question and to help any E-mount user to know if we have to dive in fully or go all in, or if we have to wait. So stay tuned and we will have the answers. So I'm here in Prague, visiting the city, and I've decided to use my... Oh, we have lost the light, so we will make a break and come back.